As in the main screen, there is a punch hole cutout for the selfie camera, although this one isn't hidden with magic pixels. Thanks to the new larger dimensions, this is now a genuinely usable and useful screen. It's not multitasking friendly, but it's good for email, web browsing, chat apps, social media, and as a viewfinder for the camera array on the back. Overall, we are pleased with the updated cover display, which gives the whole device a more traditional handset look and feel. The cover screen has also gotten an upgrade. It's still a 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED screen, but now it's 2.7mm wide. The cover screen has also gotten an upgrade. It's still a 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED screen with 2316 into 904 resolution compared to the Z Fold 3's 2268 into 832 resolution, but now it's 2.7mm wider than the cover screen on the Galaxy Z Fold 3. It also has an adaptive refresh rate, though in this case it's 48Hz to 120Hz. As on the main screen, there is a punch hole cutout for the selfie camera, although this one isn't hidden with magic pixels. Thanks to the new larger dimensions, this is now a genuinely usable and useful screen. It's not multitasking friendly, but it's good for email, web browsing, chat apps, social media, and as a viewfinder for the camera array on the back. Overall, we are pleased with the updated cover display, which gives the whole device a more traditional handset look and feel. As with the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3, which used the Samsung Galaxy S21's camera array, the Z Fold 4 adapts its main camera array from the Galaxy S22. It has the same sensors underneath, though they are backed by a slightly more powerful CPU here and the same lenses. There is also a selfie camera on the cover screen and a low-grade selfie camera under the large main screen. Here is the full list of cameras: 12MP ultra wide with 123-degree field of vision, f2.2 aperture, 50MP wide, f1.8 aperture, 10MP telephoto with f2.4 aperture, and cover has 8MP f2.2 aperture, and main screen has 4MP f1.8 aperture focus length. All of these cameras are quite good, especially the triple array, matching the expectations we built after reviewing the Samsung Galaxy S22. The light gathering capabilities are exceptional. The colors pop maybe a tiny bit too much, but that's Samsung for you. And the portrait mode is exquisite. 3x optical zoom is effective, and the digitally assistant and optically and digitally stabilized space zoom is also quite good. Low light and night photography are also impressive. Slight disappointment sets in though when you consider that your $1,799 folding phone doesn't have the best cameras Samsung has to offer. You will find those on the stellar Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, so there is no 108MP main camera or a 10x optical zoom here, and space zoom tops out at 30x. The selfie camera on the cover screen is good, and the one on the main screen is better than serviceable. We used it for photos, and in a Google Meet session, there are lots of video recording options all the way up to 8K 60fps, although that's only useful if you have a good 8K TV to display it. 4K video looks great, and you can also record in slow-mo. The camera app offers quick access to a wide array of shooting options, including Pro Mode, which lets you control settings such as shutter speed and white balance. The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4 is a 7.6-inch dynamic AMOLED display with 2176 x 1812 resolution, where the Z Fold 3 screen was 2208 x 1768 resolution. It's a nominal change that's mostly due to the updated chassis. It also supports an adaptive refresh rate of 1 to 120Hz. The low end of the range is useful for saving battery life by not refreshing the screen when it's not needed, while the high end means smoother gameplay and video action. The defining feature of this screen is of course that it folds, and Samsung has done some re-engineering here. Under the straightened ultra-thin flexible glass, Samsung has removed a metal plate which helps to make the phone thinner and lighter, and replaced it with a strong mesh. That's not stuff. What you can see and feel though is the crease. It shows up when the screen is dark, and if you run your finger across the screen you will feel it too. Generally it's unnoticeable when watching video, but you might occasionally detect a slightly darker band running through your Netflix selection. There is a camera on this main display, but it's easily hidden by a tiny disk of pixels that the phone can turn on and off When it's time to use the camera, the punch-out hole suddenly appears, highlighted by an illuminated ring like the crease. You usually won't even notice this little circle when it's not illuminated, but on some brighter images and scenes, it can be visible. Overall, this is still an excellent screen with all the real estate you need to do everything from taking pictures to putting the device in flex mode, basically bent into an L shape, which lets you use one half as a keyboard and the other as your screen laptop style. The cover screen has also gotten an upgrade. It's still a 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED screen with a 2316 into 904 resolution compared to the Z Fold 3's 2268 into 832 resolution. But now it's 2.7mm wider than the cover screen on the Galaxy Z Fold 3. It also has an adaptive refresh rate, though in this case it's 48Hz to 120Hz. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, feel free to share it with your friends and keep watching Best Buy to get your top-notch day-to-day commodities.